Yeah, yeah, uh-huh, yeah. This looks like a job for, you know who, come on. You know it, you know it. Yes, sir, uh-huh, come on. Yeah, 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 come on. Yes, sir, come on. Aha, yeah, yo, let's go. All right, y'all, all right. You don't get too much, but you get a little bit of this new intro that I've been working on to get things going. But it is time. It is time. The X Pod is back. We've been all over the place throughout the Marvel Universe. We went from X-Men to now to Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And today we have a special episode. We usually break down each one of the episodes in an episode, but this time we're just taking a little break from episodic content, and we wanted to bring in someone very near and dear to my heart for several reasons, and also connected. I love it when my worlds come together. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I'm here. Marcos is here. What's going on, Marcos?
Not much, man. We're making the effective jump from X Pod 97, X-Men 97. We did the Deadpool movie. We, of course, the Bo DeMayo news, all that stuff, and now we're coming back around. And again, worlds are intersecting.
Here we go. We make at least 5 references to pro wrestling every show. We're like, oh, it's just like wrestling, you know? It's so that just tends to happen as big wrestling fans and comic book fans. These universes, they come together and all that, the ideas. So it's only right that our worlds collide once more. So our special guest beneath me is, I mean, I can't say enough about this man's talent, this man's charisma, this man's energy, but most importantly, this man's heart. I think he is the probably one of the best people that I've ever met in the business of wrestling. And it shows throughout his projects, it shows throughout his anything he really puts his mind, heart, and effort into. And I'm extremely proud to know this brother and to have him joining us as the first guest of this week's of this year's pod. So without any further ado, Big E, y'all.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you so much. Rand, I feel like, obviously I've known you for quite some time, but the last 2 months, I feel like I've seen so much of you. I saw you in Phoenix for the Fiesta Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Seeing you on TV, interacting with Woods and Cove. I reached out to you about some other project stuff. There's been a lot of interactions as of late.
You know what? That's true. The last few months, I will say, I've probably talked to you more than any of the other times that we've known each other. And It's been like very important moments where you're like, oh, well, let's talk about this and let's put this together. And I've been really, really proud of the moves you've been making, the projects you have your hands in. They are very near and dear to my heart as an educator, as well as a comic book fan. Like this, all these things that you wind up into are always very relevant to my interests. And so that's dope. It's one thing to be like, oh, that's the homie, so I'm gonna watch his moves. But that when the homie's moves are actually things you like, that it makes it a lot easier. So yeah, it's been really dope to see all of your accomplishments, my friend.
Thank you so much, my man.
All right, so we're mostly here to talk about Spider-Man. So I'm going to start from the beginning. Were you like most of us, where maybe the comic book rush of a certain time era kind of pulled you into the books, or were you the movie thing kind of maybe gets you in, or were you just not a comic head at all? Like, what's the Big E comic origin story?
Yeah, no, I definitely like some of my first memories are, of course, like X-Men the animated series was my favorite show as a kid. Wolverine was my absolute favorite, and then I also like when we were kids. I still like to this day have a tub of these 93, 94 Fleer Ultra cards. I have so many of the X-Men line, of like the Rise of Executioner, that period, being 7, 8 years old, trading cards with my fellow kids, my friends, like that era, early to mid 90s, we were so engrossed. And again, it's pro wrestling and it's comics, it's Marvel, it's X-Men, like that's the world that we lived in. So that very much was just like we were all, as boys in the early to mid 90s, all of us, like everyone around us, like we were immersed in it.
That was it. Oh man, I might have to take a look at your collection, man. I went through a real second childhood during pandemic where I started going back and trying to recollect every X-Men card series of 91, 92 up to like 94. And I got stuck around 93, 94. But that was really what kept me sane kind of during pandemic, where we were just like, let's go find some cards. And then I would find a store that had packs. And so I'm like, yo, I'm a kid again. I'm ripping packs open. Like, oh, it was so much fun. But that's what's up, man. Marcos, you got a question?
Yeah. So obviously, we brought you on your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, pod, special series that we're doing. So how did this happen? Did you make a call? Did somebody make a call? Did somebody was like, hey man, hit him, like, tell us, walk us through the process as somebody that's already in sports entertainment for, all these entities to interact and be like, yo, let's work.
Yeah, man, I'm just so extremely fortunate. So the process was, and I'd forgotten about this piece until I saw the showrunner Jeff Trammell, who I'll get into a little bit later. He recently had an interview where he talked about the first session we had. I was still in the neck brace. So this is, mind you, this is March of like 2022 is when I broke my neck, and I was in the neck brace for about 3 months. But anyways, there was a casting director just DM'd me at the time. I didn't really have agent secured. I didn't have my agent information on my pages at all. I didn't have emails. So pretty much, like, if you wanted to get a hold of me, like, DM was your best bet. And it's in the hidden DMs, mind you. So there's a good chance. I just think, like, again, like, I think about T-Pain, when T-Pain came out, and it's like, man, I didn't know I had like 100 different DMs from some of the biggest names in music and in entertainment. But so I'm so thankful that I didn't miss it. So I looked up this casting director, saw her name, and it looked legit. So I reached back out to her, and we started talking. Went from there. But really, it's because of Jeff. Like, I have to give all the credit to Jeff Trammell, who I've gotten to know. He has become great friends with me, and also with Johnny Davenport, who I know Ran, or you know of at least, who's designed our wrestling gear for the last 10 plus years. My creative partner, just an incredible human being. Jeff really is a big wrestling fan, a big WWE fan, and thankfully, like, was a fan of the stuff that I was doing. And he reached out to me, and originally he just kind of reached out for a one-off. I was just supposed to. I ended up reading for a part that was just supposed to be for one episode, and thankfully, apparently, it got circulated enough around the team at Marvel for them to say, "Oh, actually, let's bring him on for a more significant role." We just kind of went from there. And actually, I think it might have been 2023. I was out in LA with Johnny. We actually sat down and had lunch with Jeff as well. But man, it's been, being a part of a Marvel project it's a dream come true. But getting to know Jeff Trammell, who, again, like, I was singing this man's praises. He's done such a brilliant job with the show. I've been able to see along the way animatics, which are, for people who aren't familiar, it's like moving storyboards for a little bit. So being able to see some of the skeleton of the show as it's come along has been so wonderful. But man, I got to thank the team at Marvel so much. They have been such a delight to work with. Every time I get a chance to go into the booth to record, I'm always like, is that's it? That's it? You don't have anything else for me? Can I read another script? Like, I enjoy breathing life into these characters and the process of that so very much. So yeah, man, it just started from a DM and it's gone on from there. It's been beautiful.
That's what's up, man. Hey, check those DMs, people. Like, seriously. I remember that T-Pain thing. He was scrolling, and it's like a who's who of the business being like, yo, I didn't even know. Like, I get overwhelmed with DMs. I'm like, please email me, like, do something else, because DMs are just a wasteland. It's 50,000 people saying, like, 10 of them being like, oh man, I just love your stuff. Another person saying, oh yeah, you suck. And then, like, another person saying, hey, let's work together. Like, you just got to sift through. So I would say when you're working on this project and other projects too, because I see you are doing a lot more acting and stuff. So when accents and things like that are maybe asked for, have you had situations where they've come to you and say, like, all right, well, this is going to be this, where this guy's from, and give me a little more of this and a little more of that? Has that been a situation that you've had to kind of come up with accents on for your characters?
No, thankfully, I haven't like that. No one has asked me to do anything outside of my wheelhouse. So for Laser Wolf, which also was a blast. Like I got to do an Adult Swim show with
Mhm.
looking back now, it's Quinta Brunson, it's Vince Staples. Like to see like two people that I'm huge fans of their work, to see them like go on to do incredible things. But I got a chance to be a part of Laser Wolf for those 2 seasons that I got to do the show. And for me, like I was able to bring in, I think, a little bit more of my like wrestling personality, which is obnoxious, a little bit more raspiness in the voice. But no one's asked me really to do voice work or accent work or anything that is outside of me. Thankfully, so I've had a lot of fun with it, and I try to bring a little bit different something to each character. But the team at Marvel honestly has done such a great job of directing me, and no one's asked me to do anything that I don't have within me.
Okay, cool. Marcos, you got some?
So, uh, so we're not going to get into specifics of your character, at least because we don't want to disrupt any NDAs or anything like that. But we saw your character, and so when you got the information that you got for in order to deliver your lines, did they give you like this is the background, or they kind of like this is a character we drew? You got some inspiration in it, do what you want. Like, did you shape the character? Did you give some feedback on it? Like, and again, you could be very vague because we don't want you to get in trouble. And just let us know. Let us the people that love this kind of stuff.
Yeah, Jeff and his team really did such a great job of shaping the character. So already I got backstory for them. Already had an idea, a general idea of what he was going to look like. Getting to see some of the animatic beforehand, before I voiced the character. So I got some of that, and so I got a backstory. So I know his motivations. I know what he seeks, like what just kind of what's inside of him. So thankfully all of that was on the page, or it was provided for me, and I was able to work from there. And again, they did such a wonderful job directing me and letting me know what they liked and what they didn't like. One of the things that was a little bit different from some of the voice work that I've done in the past is I feel like there was more, as far as direction, they wanted a more natural tone, a more natural delivery. I know oftentimes, in voice work, they're asking you to slow down, and when you think you're going slow down even more. But for this, it felt a lot more natural. The dialogue felt very natural. It felt, the pace of the speaking, I thought, was a lot more natural. So that was really easy. But no, thankfully, like again, it's Marvel. They have all their T's crossed, all their I's dotted. So I knew before I even opened my mouth the backstory of this character.
That's good.
Dope. Okay, so when we were talking about X-Men 97, we got a chance to interview Guy Agostini, who played Sunspot. And he talked about how X-Men 97 was in the works so long ago that I think he said he did his first readings like during the pandemic. And so a lot of time, like he had several like return, invitations, and just didn't even know if he had made it. You know what I mean? And didn't actually get the chance to like sit and chill with the rest of the voice cast until the show came out. So I would imagine this was a little different. But did you get any chance? I know you had some time to chill with Jeff, but have you had moments to hang out with the rest of the voice cast and things like that? And was there moments of, I guess, the kind of like uncertainty where you're like, I think I killed that, but like I'll see,
Yeah, it's so interesting too, because in wrestling, one thing I love about wrestling is you get that immediate feedback. If it sucks right away, the audience will let you know. But when you do voice work, you don't have that immediate feedback. So there is a little bit like, was that good? But again, like Jeff and his team let me know right away. Like hearing their laughs, that reaction was beautiful to know. When it was time to be comedic, they're like, all right, you nailed it. So I had a good understanding of what they liked and what they didn't like. But man, as far as meeting the rest of the cast, this star-studded cast, I'm talking like, man, Charlie Cox. I am a massive Coleman Domingo fan. How could you not be? But actually, there was a premiere intended. Actually, was supposed to be, I think, around, right before the actual premiere on Disney Plus. But obviously, with the unfortunate LA fires, they decided that it just didn't make a lot of sense and it wasn't the right thing to do. But there is a cast and crew, get together. Unfortunately, because of my Royal Rumble duties, I'll be flying out on the same day. So my hope is there will be some other opportunity for us all to get together. kind of celebrate this show. I feel like I'm a very, very small part of making this thing go. But I would love to be able to meet the team, to meet the rest of the cast, to meet everyone behind the show. But unfortunately, with the conflicts, with the fires, it just didn't work out this time.
For sure. Maybe y'all meet up at the Emmys.
I can't imagine, like, even just an invitation to go would be so cool. Man, I was like, I sit back and I marvel at my career all the time because there's so many things that when I first started wrestling, I could never have fathomed. And to be a part of a property like this, a beloved character in Spider-Man, and to become friends with the showrunner, it really is. It's a gift from, whether you want to call it karma, the universe, God. I am so deeply grateful because for me, this is like a dream. And for me to be in my late 30s, almost 40, and in show business, the window can close very quickly, and the fact that the window of opportunities is still open for me is really a gift.
It really is. This has been really dope to see. Like, I must say, like, seeing I don't know if you want to call it the second act or anything like that of Big E, but I would say the growth and the continued evolution of you as an entertainer has been really, really awesome to see, man. So keep going. I'm looking forward to even more. Well, since you mentioned it, I must ask at least one wrestling question.
Yes, sir.
So you recently returned to the ring in a very emotional, I would say, probably the most emotional moment I've felt in WWE in a very long time. Briefly though, without getting into anything, storyline wise, can you say maybe about how long that a project like that is in the works, where you finally come to the point where it's the right time to do it? You know what I mean? Was that something that was discussed for a long time, or you're like, all right, well, it's time now,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I will say, I feel like in this industry, you have to evolve. Even when you find gold, I think sometimes you can stay in the same path. And like, that's the thing is, like, once people love you and you get the chance down, you can kind of keep coasting, but then that's all you are. You know what I mean? So I think it's all trying to swim through very delicate lanes here.
Yeah,
Of course.
I'm really proud of what we built as a collective. I'm really proud of again, we were three guys just trying to save our careers. But now, for better or worse, the wrestling world is talking about those two again. I feel like a fire has been ignited again, and you know what? I'm really proud of what we built. I'm proud of where I am in my life. I'm proud of also me just standing on my principles. And I think wrestling is all about delivering these moments. It's title reigns are important to a degree, length of reigns, all those things. You can talk about titles and championships and 14 times. But for me, what really attracts me to our industry is those moments. And I had never seen anything done like what we did in that ring before. I can't think of any other turn that went the way it did. So look, man, ultimately, like, I'm really happy. It's funny now because before that segment, I had so many people, like, it was really just all this positivity and like, I'm happy for you and hope you get better. But now I got so many pro Kofi and Woods trolls. Every time I post about Spider-Man or post about the Fiesta Bowl or something, it's like, Kofi and Woods are right. See, you be everywhere but the ring. I'm not cleared medically because I broke my neck. That's why. Okay. Those have opened the door for all these idiots who want to come in and talk about everything that I'm doing outside the ring.
Kofi said the two words that rung throughout the world to it. He said, "So what?"
So what?
And I'm like,
so what you mean, so what?
So what? Wait.
So you mentioned your outside of WWE obligations when you had that interaction, because I imagine when you ran into Rand, at the bowl and all that stuff, that you had fans in your face chanting. And were those trolls present? Were your coworkers for the day like, yo, what's going on? What are they talking about? Were you like, don't worry about them?
No, people are clued in. That's the cool thing. Like with the Fiesta Bowl, a bunch of like the videographers on the team are big wrestling fans, so they're all clued in on what's going on. But now it's interesting now because I get the New Day. I get like, hey, New Day sucks. And in the past, I'm ready to like, what you mean? It's like, oh no, you're with me. Okay, so it's like this recalibration of what. So I'm having to be like, oh no, you're pro me. Okay, that's what that means. So no, in public, I get so much love, man. I was just in San Francisco. Just came back from San Francisco. This dude rolled down his window to hit me with the field of power, and it's beautiful, man. I can't tell you, it's very humbling for me. I broke my neck like nearly March will be 3 years. And the fact that people are still clamoring for me to come back or still asking what I'm doing or still supporting me, it's like, you get there's a lot of negative discussion when it comes to the internet wrestling community or the online wrestling fan base, whatever it is. But what I've seen from wrestling fans, I've seen so much love and support. And I really feel like the community has rallied behind me in ways that are beyond humbling for me. So I appreciate all the love. For the most part, it's a lot of, in person, people are telling that Kofi and Woods can go to hell. So I appreciate the love.
So another question: Did the WWE send you your T-shirt? Do you have your New Day Sucks T-shirt?
I do not
Is
have
it in the closet
T-shirt yet. It's not something that I would rock. But I'll tell you, my woman, Kristen, she will rock that shirt, and she is scary when she will defend me and she'll get online and she'll be at the Rumble as well. So I need some security for them.
Yeah, you're gonna need to protect them from her, because Chris is no joke online. So I can't even imagine in person. Like the venom that she came at them with was like, that's how you stand by your man. Like, okay, I like that. So I can't hate on it at all. It was beautiful to see.
Now, if we get just real for a moment, so what happened to you in 2022, that was tragic, and you're living through it and everything. What advice, if there's individuals out there that are going through something similar, or if there's people that their loved ones are going through something similar, as somebody that lived it, what kind of support do you recommend people to give? If it's like somebody that you admire, or is it a family member? Like what stood with you in your heart that is like, what? Wow, that was impactful. Thank you. That gave me more strength to go,
Yeah. No, so many people ask me if I had dark days, and honestly, I didn't, because I had so much community around me as far as support. And I'm so beyond thankful. So man, I still think like Mustafa Ali sent me a Lego Seinfeld set. And so it's so funny because I clearly talk a lot about my two passions, pre dating Kristen. But at the time I got a ton of Seinfeld stuff and I got a ton of meditation and mindfulness stuff. So for me, man, it's really, if you are close to someone who is going through something like that, every text message, every call I got, it all meant something to me. Don't be afraid if you're going through something like that. When I was going through my mental health struggles in college and beyond, struggling with depression, I so often felt like a burden, and I didn't want to lean on others around me. And when you can go through situations like that, and your mind can be your own worst enemy. And I would just encourage people, like, don't be afraid to lean on your family, on your friends, on the people near you. Like, we need each other. And I think too often in our culture, we have this sense of individualism, which can be beneficial at times because, you got to be resilient and whatnot. But I think too often we forget how much we need each other. We forget the importance of community. We forget, like, we're social creatures. We are meant to lean on each other. We are meant to have villages. We are meant to pick each other up when we're down. Life is not always going to be like this. It comes in waves. You will have ebbs and flows, regardless if you're rich or poor. We will all go through ups and downs. And when we're down, having people there for us, having people support us and lift us up, even just a call, hey man, you good? Can I bring you anything? Like the Iconics, they sent me edible arrangements. I had so many people, even if it's things that I didn't love or consume, just the fact that they took time to think about me, to reach out, to be there for me. I had so much love, man. I never felt alone. I never was down. I never felt depressed because I had this constant barrage of love and support from strangers, from friends, from people close to me, from people I'd never met. And that to me is so deeply meaningful. So for me, that really is the solution. It's community, man. It's community. Mm-hmm. And it's it's earned family. It's family you bring along the way. I'm not particularly close with my blood family, besides my sisters. Often some of us we grow up through with tough childhoods and tough family situations. But along the way, man, like I'm so thankful for my family that I have picked up along the way, for my friends who have become family, who I tell you I love you, and I mean that, because you've been there for me and I'll be there for you. So that for me is it, man. It's about community, and I would just encourage us to, when you're going through it, please, you're not a burden, man. You are not a burden. To those who love you, they don't want to see you suffering in silence. And I spent too much of my life in my younger years suffering in silence and not leaning on others. So that for me is the key, man. I'm so thankful for the people in my life who showed me love, who reached out, big or small. If you sent me a DM, if you sent me a text, if you called me, if you sent something in the mail, thank you dearly, because that got me through a time that could have been tough, and it wasn't.
Well
That's
said.
awesome
Well
to
said.
hear, man. Very well said. I want to point out that I think a big part of what you were able to receive, the love and the outpouring of support, is in big part to the love and support that you've shown throughout your life and the person that you've been, that rock you've been to people. And I think that is what I've constantly heard. And like, yo, Biggie's the best dude. Like, yo, this is so I constantly have heard that, that your character has never been in question. So I think that is something that has come back to you a thousandfold. You know what I mean? It's just being a good dude and being there for people. So I think that's so important. Thank you for that really important message. I want to end with something not so important and a little silly. All right, so we're talking about Marvel Universe stuff. All right, and we talk about WWE and Marvel, maybe. All right, so check it. in the pantheon of the universe, Big E somehow awakens in the Marvel universe, the MCU, 616, whatever. He awakens. What is Big E's power? And if you could team up with anybody in the Marvel universe, who would that be?
Ooh, great question. As far as a team up, man, it's hard not to say Wolverine. Look, Wolverine was my favorite, and I feel like it would be a bit of yin and yang. He's a hothead, so I feel like he needs someone like me to soothe his energy. But I feel like as far as my powers, I feel like I'd have a lot of peck based offense. You know what I mean? I feel like I absorb strikes via the pecs, and I'll send you like the blood. You know what I mean? I'll absorb it with my pecs, and I'll send it right back to you double fold. You know what I'm saying? It's all peck. You can't hurt me because I got this peck shield, and then I'll pop one peck, that projectile that comes out the nip. Pop another peck, there's another projectile. So it's a lot of phase offense. It's gonna put you try to throw me out a window. It's like airbags. I'll let you throw me 80 stories, but I'll bounce on the pecs, land on my feet. It's nothing. I'm indestructible. It's a built-in airbag around that'll protect my whole body, and I feel like I should be able to shoot things.
And you can attack. Yeah, you can attack. Not just defense, but offense too.
Right. If you try to punch me, I'll catch it with the peck, and I'll break your hand via snap it off.
Oh, yo. I would buy this comic book in a heartbeat. All right, Marvel, I hope you're listening. Book it. It needs to happen. Oh my God, that is amazing. Peckman, I don't know. You and Wolverine though would be it'd be a cool buddy cop situation.
Right, I'm trying to get into do meditation. I'm trying to Logan, chill.
breathe, Logan. Come
and
on.
Then I'm sorry, I apologize. I have to do this. Would your secondary power be the power of positivity?
Yeah, no, it's a good one. Yeah, it's a good one. I think I'll get somehow the waves of positivity will stop your bullets, and they'll come down to a place of rest. Yeah, that's a good call.
There you go. All right. Well, shoot. I thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, man. That is probably all I got. But please let the people know what you're working on, where they can see you, hear you, and catch you, because you're literally doing everything, which is the reason why we're doing this now. This man's about to ping pong around the freaking globe. So let the people know what you got going on.
Yeah. First and foremost, you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm never calling it that other name. It's always Twitter to me. at WWE Big E for all the updates. But yeah, man, right now you can hop on Netflix and watch Raw Classics, which I am hosting. Every WWE PLE, you will see me on the countdown shows and the post shows. Having a lot of fun doing that. Check out the Royal Rumble, which will be on February 1st in Indianapolis. I will be a part of that shindig. I'm trying to think. What else is? I think I got a few things in the works, but I don't think that anything else that's out right now. Of course, check out Our Heroes Rock. You can watch our short film Bridges on the Our Heroes Rock YouTube. We're hoping to deliver more in the under the Our Heroes Rock umbrella. But yeah, man, there's a few other things that I'm really passionate about that I'm working on right now that hopefully I'll be able to talk about more publicly. But right now, that's it. Go watch Raw Classics on Netflix. Go see me on all the WWE PLEs, post shows, and pre-shows, and check out Our Heroes Rock.
All right. That's what's up. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And yeah, we will catch you up and down these roads. And appreciate all your great work, sir.
No, thank you both,
right,
man. It's a lot of fun.
Thanks for taking the time. All right. I'm going to let our last message from our sponsors, aka us, roll. Don't worry about you.
They should have animated Forge's face when he turned on the... Hey, this is Marcos. Thanks for supporting the XPod 97. We now have merch, y'all. Grab a t-shirt, grab a sticker, grab a hoodie, or even get a mug for one of your relatives or something. I don't know. Rep the greatest X-Men podcast on the planet. We love doing what we do, and we want to continue bringing you weekly episodes. So don't forget to rate us and always subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest drops. Thanks again. We appreciate everything. See ya.